The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first. Unfortunately, some media outlets
because of you, we're in this mess. Forever you will acquiesce. How you love to be deceived. Whatever they tell you, you believe. Dead of sight, dead of mind. News believer, you are blind. Critical thinker, you are not. Never independent thought. Boxed into your paradigm. Hypnotized with pantomime. Regurgitating all you hear. Spread your terror, spread your fear. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will ever see. Lick the boot of tyranny, begging for your slavery. They who have remote control, the TV know your very soul. Tune into the great deceiver, television watching news believer. Inject your poison, wear your mask. Blindly following like sheep. Yes or no, sir, free backs full. You television watching fool. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will ever see. Lick the boot of tyranny, begging for your slavery. They who have remote control, the TV know your very soul. Tune into the great deceiver, television watching news believer.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is 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 extremely dangerous to our democracy.
In their world forever locked. Into their world forever boxed. Reality you leave behind. A prisoner of your own mind. Forever you will be deceived. Never, ever to be free. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will ever see. Lick the boot of tyranny, begging for your slavery. They who have remote control, the TV know your very soul. Tune into the great deceiver, television watching news believer. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will ever see. Lick the boot of tyranny, begging for your slavery. They who have remote control, the TV know your very soul. Tune into the great deceiver, television watching news believer.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. Just kidding. Wakey, wakey, rise and shine. If you're over here in America, we are just getting the day started, but we figured we would kick things off with an awesome opportunity, a chance to have a fantastic conversation and a Q&A with the legendary, the one and only Alex Conspiracy Music Guru.
You're too kind, man. You're too kind. Legendary. I like the intro. Thanks, man. How you doing?
We're doing fantastic, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, all right. Never bored. Never ever bored in this nonsense clown world. I mean, I'm always doing something. I just finished a track for Hibbler Productions, Level With Me, and that sounds. I mean, he's well happy with that, so I'm quite excited about that, and I'm just really taking a bit of downtime at the moment and contemplating my next creative genius work. I don't know. I mean, I don't really plan anything. I just sort of wait for it to come to me through the ether. If you force creativity, it just ends up horrible. So I just sort of wait for the next idea. Really, I've got a few ideas on the back burner, but we'll see where it takes me. We'll see. But because I'm doing this thing now that's resonating with a lot of people, and I love it. But it's going to keep me very busy, I think, because there's always a conspiracy, so there's always going to be content, isn't there? So I'm going to be very busy, probably for the rest of my life.
That is the price of freedom, as they say, is eternal vigilance. Before we get too far into it, I do want to take a chance to do a special thanks and shout out to Shane St. Pierre over from the Anti-Disinformation League for hosting this, putting this thing on, getting everything arranged. So, Shane, how are you doing today, man? Thanks for setting this all up.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming in, co-hosting with me. This is going to be great. I kind of just emailed him expecting, no response or, anything. And he's like, yeah, sure. I was like, oh, shit. Great. This is going to be great. So, I mean, yeah, thanks, Alex, for taking the time to talk to us. This is probably, one of my biggest fanboy opportunities, man, to be honest. But I'm going to try and hold it together. I heard...
It's a pleasure.
So we are in the Discord community a lot. We're in the Flat Earth Discord community. We're in the heat of the debate and the argument against all the Globetrotters and everything. But you have fans and fans everywhere, but fans particularly in 24/7 Discord. Did you used to hang out there at all, or?
I did, yeah, a little while back. There was people talking about me, and my buddy Mike. I don't know if you know Mike, who's Stellium 7, done some fantastic work on Titanology. But he messaged me and said, "Hey, I'm on Discord at the moment, and there's a bunch of people they're all talking about you and they love you. Will you hop on?" And I'm like, so I went through the whole process of being vetted, and I hung out there for a while, and it was it's really nice to get that sort of love there. I'm not on Discord anymore. I don't know why I stopped listening to that. Maybe I don't know. I don't like conflict in any way. I don't like listening to arguments, and there's a lot of that going on. So maybe I don't know. Maybe I should hop back on there one day.
Probably not, to be honest. It is filled with the most toxic. I was just curious if your experience was, what, this is great, and I'll just leave, because that's a really healthy way to do it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seemed things were getting, what's the best word to use? Locked down over there on Discord, so it wasn't becoming a very comfortable place to freely express opinions and ideas. But that's why we are now on the Telegram. Telegram is kicking, so you can also find the ADL over there. I haven't dropped any links in my page, unfortunately, but you can also find this over on Odyssey, over on Rumble, and anybody who has that link in my chat, if you want to drop that for me, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I love the alt platforms, honestly, guys. Like, YouTube has kind of been the monopoly for a while, but since I started being a truther, which was, the scamdemic, so I read about COVID. COVID's the one that woke me up and, made me a flat earther. But like ever since then,
wait. COVID woke you up and made you a flat earther. That's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, man. I'm part of the new wave, right? I'm fairly new to this whole thing, although I do learn quickly.
Oh, I love it. Welcome. Welcome, brother. It's nice to have you.
Thanks, man. It's good to see the people that brought me in. David Weiss was one of the biggest influences on me. And the first thing I did was book him for an interview to come on and do, I didn't have a show or anything, but I recorded an interview and put it on the stream, and that was how I started, right? Just talking to the person who brought me here. And then I've been kind of going through the rounds ever since. Of course, I hit up Dubai.
That's what I like about David. He just says yes to everything.
Honestly, I saw him on this show called the Awfully Irish Podcast. It's two dudes with like 7 subs and 3 views, and here's David Weiss, and I'm looking at it going, I know I'm not a Glober, but if he'll talk to them, he'll probably talk to me. I'm going to shoot him.
Yeah. He's so passionate. I mean, you can see his passion. I love David. I like to tease David a little bit. We have a sort of like a blokey pub kind of relationship where we just take the piss out of each other all the time. It's fun to add a bit of fun to this because it's so dark, some of this information. But no, I've got a great amount of respect for David, especially with his app and everything. He's just so tenacious. He's just always, he doesn't care, like you say, if you've got 1 subscriber or 1 million, he'll do it. And he's just out there every single day pushing this message. And you have to love that about him.
Like, he has a huge reach, and we can't actually like measure it at all is the biggest thing, right? Even if he's algorithmically suppressed and shadow banned, and like everyone is on YouTube, even if that's true, he's on everybody else's show. So the way that I found it, the way I found Flat Earth was he went on someone's show who I was already watching. It was Brian Young, High Impact Flicks, the guy on YouTube who I used to think was the old conspiracy nut before I became him, and now I think he's like a vanilla truther sort of thing, right? Like, I remember him. Yeah, I was like, well, he hasn't come out about Flat Earth though. I think he was at the conference. I think he's on board. He's just he's dragging his feet.
There's a lot of people that are on board that are not quite ready to, like Jim Brewer being one of them, right? Because I know I have it on good authority that he's flat. I know he's flat. I know he is, but he's not quite like when I first got into Flat Earth. I was saying to my wife when I said, oh my God, I think the earth is flat. I said, but I can't tell anybody this. They're going to think I'm crazy. I'm going to keep this big secret all to myself. Then a year later, when I got comfortable, I'm Flat Earth man all over it's just, so you just get to a point where you're comfortable with enough with it to start talking about it. And a lot of, big names are mentioning it, So I don't think it will be too long before, some really big names start talking about it. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what the next 10 years holds, as far as Flat Earth is concerned.
Right?
Yeah, there's really no telling. We're really in the, honestly, like some of the first beginnings of this, when you really think about it. It hasn't even really been investigated fully for, over 10 years, hardcore by the community in the modern age. So, there's really no telling what's going to happen when we actually get some more organization and some more people in to take a look at this.
Funding, that's what we need. We need money. That's what we need. We need a billionaire to we need Elon Musk to start talking about Flat Earth like that's ever going to happen.
Yeah, that
funding we do need. Yeah, don't we have it though? I was just rewatching what's the next level, the last level movie before the new level movie, and there was this like Southern guy in cowboy hat and boots that I don't recognize, that I don't know, that was paraded around with like white. I'm like, who is this? It looks like some rich Southern Flat Earth guy. Why can't this guy fund our shit? Is what I was thinking. Like, he seems to have a lot of money. What's going on?
He probably does.
You're Flat Earth millionaire you're talking about, aren't you, Tanner?
Is that really his name? That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, Flat Earth millionaire Tanner Stewart, I think his name is.
Probably buying everybody's merch.
So wait,
it would be nice to get a bit more, because none of us are making any money. I mean, I've got like almost 70,000 subscribers, and that sounds like such a big number to so many people. And people think, do you know what? I get about $150 from my YouTube channel, and I monetize every video. And people are saying, oh, come to Vegas and like perform in Vegas for Flatoberfest. I'm like, I haven't got $3,000 just lying about to and then performing, try and get a band together. Like, people just don't realize I can't just hop onto stage and sing a bunch of my greatest hits without, a lot of money. And it's just, I'm an independent musician, not signed at all. And independent musicians anyway, they struggle enough, let alone the ones that are singing about Flat Earth. So there's no money in this at all. So we need more. I don't know. I think stuff like truth in general needs to be corporatized more, really, to make it in this corporate world.
Tell the truth and make money, say on Google AdSense, on YouTube, on TV, in any of the main markets, and anything mainstream. It's the most ridiculous. That's why I don't mind people, who do truth, who do like ask for money, who don't put truth behind a paywall. That's kind of where you draw it. But I'm doing this for free, and if you want to give me money, you can. And many people will support the shit out of you that way, and I think that's totally cool.
So I will be the black sheep in this conversation and respectfully disagree. I actually think that there is an opportunity to do this a little bit better. I just think that the majority of people who are in this field, myself included, are amateurs when it comes to things like marketing and sales. And you don't have to be dishonest necessarily to be good in business or to be good in sales and communicating a message with a clear call to action that is compelling enough to get people to trade their energy for yours, essentially. So it's just a way of I think we need to be better at funneling people, is all.
Welcome, JT.
Hey, you guys are rocking it already this morning.
Nice to
Alex,
have you.
I've enjoyed hearing you at both summits.
Oh, thank you, man. Sorry, what's your name? How do I address you?
Yeah, you can call me JT.
Hey, JT, how you doing, man? Thank you. The summits. What summits did I did? I did the True Earth Mount Meru, didn't I?
Oh, the first summit, right?
You mean the online summit or the conference I did in Denver?
Yeah, the Mount Meru is. I was for sure you were at that one. I may be confusing you with Crumb. I think Crumb made both of them. But yeah, I'm running Boston Bear online. I've chatted with you a little bit.
No, Run Boston Bear. That's you. Hey, bro.
Nice.
Hey.
You guys are all well known.
Right, it's nice to put a face on it because I always in the chats as many times as I can get to chats, and I always see Run Boston Bear. So nice to meet you, JT.
Yeah, nice to meet you as well, man. I'm only a year into the journey of awakening too, but if you follow Austin Whitsitt and Globebusters and Karen B and you guys and Jeranism, it's like you can get caught up to speed. Doors aren't real, and just all the different stuff will fall like a house of cards if you're just not scared of truth.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. But yeah, I mean, the house of cards is falling. It's been falling and falling and falling, and now it's just like, wow. I mean, I've learned so much with this COVID nonsense. Like going from like understanding what germ theory, like how freeing is that to know that some other human being can't pass me their sickness? I can't give you my sickness any more than I can give you my health. Like
contagion is a myth.
Yeah, absolutely. So so that's another card that's fallen. I mean, I wonder how many more cards. I wonder how much other bullshit I can get out of my brain. But I love it because it's so freeing. When that card fell for me, it's like, oh my God, I would take someone with the flu and I would kiss them and we would exchange bodily fluids and it wouldn't matter. I wouldn't be scared in the slightest. It's like these things are so freeing for me.
Yeah, I'll jump right in there on that. Last year I got sick 9 times because I have 3 small children. I'm a stay-at-home dad. They were going to school and, I didn't understand anything about frequency and resonance. And a lot of the times the kiddos, they don't know why symptoms come on, but it's really, they're just emulating their peers. And I was fearful last year and I was like, I'm a runner. I train and do marathons and stuff. Every time my kid will sniffle or cough, I'd be like, oh no, I'm going to catch it. I know I am. And I would like push away and wipe their nose. Once I learned about, terrain theory and just adopted it fully, this last year, I've barely had like allergy symptoms maybe once, but my kids and my wife have been sick 3 times each and I love them more. I'm not scared. I'm just like, come here, let me clean your nose up. And it's much less fearful. Like the whole thing is built on fear.
Yeah.
Well, fear's a great sell point. It taps into those base chakras, those base instincts, and it creates a fight or flight response. I personally remember when I was in the hospital when my sons were being born, being shown both times before they let you take home the children here in America, or at least here in Florida, they make you watch these very hardcore propaganda videos where they'll show you children like coughing and being hospitalized and having to go through surgery and stuff because they didn't get this whooping cough vaccine when the woman was pregnant or something like that, or they hugged the baby too close, and it's like it really seemed like a lot of it was fear-based and trying to get in the way of the parental-child bond in that regard. But they do that with just about everything. And then you look more into it and you find that a lot of the things they prescribe and try to do have the opposite effect. Magnesium was a big one for me. When you have a premature child, they here in Florida, they try to give you magnesium. And at first it was because magnesium is supposed to help prevent the labor. It's supposed to help them from not going into labor so they can cook longer. But then when they realized that was no longer viable, that they didn't have evidence for that, they then instead shifted it to, well, now it's for preventing brain bleeds in the child. And you actually look at the main side effect of magnesium poisoning, and it's brain hemorrhaging. So it's like, So I told this to the nurse. They didn't know what to do.
Hi, Patricia, welcome. Sorry, everyone, to keep bringing in people. Fans from all around.
Oh, dude, I've got to remember more names. It's terrible. Hey, Patricia.
Hi. Thank you for all you do.
I beg your pardon. Sorry, there's a big truck going past right now, and Oh, there's a
I
big
said,
trouble.
thank you so much for all you do.
Oh no, well, it's a pleasure. It's a real pleasure. I mean, you can obviously see that I enjoy what I do. So, I mean, as stressful as it is, because there's a lot of creative juice that goes into it, and it's just one man doing it all, so it can be quite stressful. But it's I don't know, it's just powered by a passion for this information and trying to get this information out. And the only way I know how to do that is through music. You know, I use my skills, are the only skills I've got. Well, I say the only skills I've got. I'm quite handy, but no, it's just fueled by passion. So no, thank you.
Yeah, you're in Spain, so it brings.
I mean, I lived in the UK for all my life till I reached about 42. Started waking up to 9/11 and all that, and I was going through quite a hectic time. And the wife and I came to Spain on holiday, and we just fell in love with the place. The landscape is beautiful. I've always felt like I was born in the wrong country. I just hated the English weather. It was pissy and rainy and grey all the time. But Spain, where I live now, is like we get 320 days of sun a year. And it just resonates with me so much. It's just so beautiful. And we was, you know, at the beach this morning, and, you know, the beach is like 5 minutes down the road. So I get to do a lot of earthing, and, you know, it's a lovely place. If you can just sidestep the tyranny for 5 minutes, it's actually a very beautiful place.
Yeah, it has fields of sunflowers, and the sunflowers are screaming out flat Earth, isn't it? And the sunflowers, you know, are another example of flat Earth.
Wow. What do you mean?
So, I don't know.
Well, because the sunflower follows the motion of the sun.
Gotcha.
And, you know, so it's so interesting to learn about sunflowers, and you have these huge fields there, and you can just watch them move. The sunflowers. Have you ever done that?
I had no idea there were sunflower fields in Spain.
Oh my gosh, loads of them, acres and acres and acres.
Oh my gosh! Well, I'm missing out then. Right, I'm gonna have to Google that. I'm gonna have to find out where my nearest sunflower field is.
Yeah, and make another music video in it.
Yeah, that might be a little bit too feminine for me, but you never know.
I don't know, man. You can make it work. I think your range is like unlimited, right? You've done some crazy spin-offs. You just do whatever, dude. You make it work no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, if the song fits. I mean, I don't know what song would fit with sunflowers, but yeah, I like to do things. I like to, you know, because I'm not restricted by a label, I can do whatever I want. So, you know, one day I'd like to do a rap song, or one day I'd like to do something, you know. It's nice to keep, you know, challenging yourself musically a little bit. And I think you grow better as a musician and as a quote unquote artist if you just try different things, you know. So there's a lot of stuff I want to do. There's so much stuff I want to do, but so little time.
The bagpipes, and, you know.
Oh, bagpipes! Oh my God, is there? We've got to find a Scottish conspiracy now. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? But yeah, there's going to be more stuff. It's just like it's just so difficult because it's one bloke doing it all. So you know, this stuff takes time. But you know, I'm just, like I said, I'm fueled with a passion for this stuff. So we'll see where the next creative project takes me. But I'm enjoying the ride.
What was your first reaction when you heard about Flat Earth, when that was brought to your attention?
It's funny because before you came on, I said to when I first came across this information, I said to the wife, I said, I think the Earth is flat. I can't believe it. This is amazing. I was like in that, just my mind blown. And I said, I can't tell anyone this because everyone's going to think I'm crazy. So I want to keep it to myself. It'll be our little secret kind of thing. And then fast forward about 1 year from then, and then I'm Flat Earth Man on the internet doing Flat Earth songs, like just in that voice. And so it's crazy how quickly you can become, you know, more confident with the subject. And it took me a good year before I became confident and before I could, you know, understand some of the bullet points that I could put into songs. So, but my first reaction was like, this is crazy. I'm not telling anyone. And then, like I say, fast forward a year and I'm all over the internet as Flat Earth Man. So, you know, there it is.
What was the switch? What triggered you?
Hey, what was your catalyst? Right, mine was COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
To what? Yeah. I mean, just the catalyst for truth for me was 9/11, which I looked into in 2012. I had a little home studio, and a guy came in and said, "Hey, have you seen this video of 9/11?" It was like the missile hitting the Pentagon, like 3 frames from a security box. And I was like, "Whoa, that's I couldn't quite, but I was like, this is weird. So because he typed that into YouTube on my Mac, back in the days when YouTube wasn't censoring, it was like, oh, you've watched this 9/11 conspiracy video. Would you like to watch another one? Here's about more. And I'm like, yes, 11 please. More, yeah. Yes, please, yes, please, yes, please. And I'm just drinking it in. So that was just like, then my mind was blown, and I was learning about the New World Order, the Illuminati, you know, and fluoridation of water and chemtrails and everything. And it's just like, oh my God, now I know why everything's so. It's just like a whole paradigm shift for me. And that was 2012. And I moved to Spain in 2014, and I started looking into flat Earth in 2016. And it was just like, it just got weirder and weirder and weirder. And then finally, I had all this. I was finally confident as a musician and a producer to start putting it into music. And the first song I did was Flat Earth Man, and that's how I got the label of Flat Earth Man. And that was just a simple video using my studio, no green screen or anything. It was very simple, 3 chords, country kind of stuff. And I kind of hid behind that accent, you know, just because I didn't want to put myself out there, because people will think I'm crazy if I just hide behind this voice and put a hat on. Then you know, people will just see it as satire or comedy. It's just a character, right? So it was quite a genius move, really, to hide behind that, because, you know, a lot of people just see it on a comedic level, but, you know, a lot of people obviously see it as a deeper level to it, obviously, if you start analysing everything I'm showing and singing about. But yeah, what a ride.
No, Alex,
I grew up in Texas, and I live in South Carolina, and as Southerners, we love flat Earth.
Yeah,
now
you love a bit of country as well.
What are you gonna say,
I'm
JT?
finding out more and more people that are in my circles that were like in the shadow flat earthers.
Vanilla truthers. No, I'm just kidding. So Spain is really big in as flat Earth. I know, like, Brazil is. Is Spain like a big flat Earth area, or no?
I have no idea, really, to be honest.
You don't talk about it with people.
Well, no, I mean, I don't have a
you?
massive. I don't have a massive social circle. I have like 6 to 8, for maybe 10 good friends that are in the know, that know this stuff, and we have regular meetups. In fact, I'm meeting one of them this weekend. But as far as integrating into Spanish society with Spanish people, no, because there's obviously a language barrier. I'm trying to learn the language, but it's quite tough as a 50-year-old man to learn a new language, but I get by. So I don't integrate, really. I just have my circle of friends, English-speaking friends, and we, you know, meet up occasionally. So I don't really know if there's a big flat Earth community here, but I did do a conference in Barcelona that was run by Irulanducci, and there was like 300 or 400 people there, and he said, would you like to come? And it was all the presentations were in Spanish, and he invites me to do a couple of songs. So I'm singing in English, but even so, the reception there was incredible. When I came on stage, everyone was just like roaring with this applause. It was really bizarre to me that my music had reached this Spanish audience that didn't, you know, so I don't know. It's just, I don't know how big the community is here, but I know that was very well received in Barcelona. I know that much. I mean, I know there's the Oliver Ibanez, right, who's got a channel. He's got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So I know there's a community here, but I haven't really, you know, mixed with it too much.
So who influenced you the most?
With Flat Earth, you mean?
Yes.
Right from the start. I mean, the very first video that I watched was Mark Sargent's Flat Earth Clues. It didn't come up as Flat Earth, because Flat Earth was being offered to me, and I'm like, who believes that? No way. So I refused to click on a single video. But the video that I did click on was called They Are Hiding God with the Biggest Secret. And it was such an intriguing title. And I clicked on it. It turns out that someone had taken Mark Sargent's Flat Earth Clues and changed the title of it. And after those 2 hours of watching just, you know, the clue after clue after clue, I'm like, okay, right, there's something to this. And then I think maybe Eric Dubé's 200 Proofs might have been offered to me next. You know, there was, back in the days when there was less censorship, I was being offered all this Flat Earth content. So because I'd clicked on that, then I clicked on another, then I found ODD, and then I found Globebusters, and then I think Jaren, I think found first, and then Jaren, and then Globebusters, and then God knows, I can't remember. Then everybody else.
Well, so all the people that influenced you, you ended up being on all their shows and being friends with them. How cool is that, though, right? I've just noticed. I've seen you on Jaren, I've seen you on Globebusters, I've seen you. You've been on all those shows. That's epic.
Yeah, it's you know, and I have to bring Bob into the conversation here. Rest in peace. What a huge loss to the community that is. I still can't quite believe it. I really can't quite believe what's gone on there. But he was so supportive of my work. He was one of my biggest fans, and I got the chance to meet him in Denver in 2008, and he was so kind, and he took me to a guitar shop because I mentioned to him, hey, I would love to buy a guitar when I'm here. He took me to a guitar store, and I sat there playing guitar after guitar after guitar, and he patiently waited. How nice Bob is. But yeah, he was such a nice guy, and he's going to be really sadly missed. But yeah, he couldn't wait to. I've been on Globebusters like 6 times. Every time I released a video, it's like, you got to come on, and I always felt uncomfortable about going on, because here I am, just a guy playing the guitar, just highlighting some bullet points, and these guys are talking about this subject in such detail. So I felt really sort of, I'm not worthy kind of thing. Yeah, it's just the support I've had from Bob and Jaron and everybody, David Weiss and Sargent, and just all the big names. It's been amazing, because they understand what I'm doing musically. They understand there's a power in the message. So it's nice that they get it, and they've been so welcoming.
And mostly, we're usually very supportive of new flat earthers as a movement, as a community. We do try to build each other up, not tear each other down, right? That's the big difference when you see. That's why flat earth is such a great community of people, really.
And we need more musicians as well. We need more creative content, because the creative stuff seems to sort of bypass the censors a little bit more than the conversations. I can put stuff in a song that might be censored if it was said. So the creative arts, if you want to call it that, we need way more of it, because I don't see a lot of it, and I think music really can hit the spot with a lot of it. I've seen it with my own music. It can really hit the spot. It can really change paradigms. It can change lives. Just a simple lyric can get you
100%.
A catchy hook, a catchy lyric can make you go, I'll look into that. Wow, I did. So I've seen the power of music, and we just need more musicians. We need more people being creative, because it's very powerful stuff.
Before we drift too far away, speaking of support, I do want to shout out the Mellow Dome for the generous donation to the Cash App, for loving the Convo Flat Gang. For anybody who is listening, we are accepting super chats and stuff to support the show. So you can go ahead and ask questions. It is a Q&A. We definitely appreciate the support.
I would just like to say that Austin
too, so thanks, man.
I'd just like to say that Austin from the Melodome is an absolute legend.
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%. Hey, before I hopped on, Alex, I heard you saying like you kind of got off Discord, and it was like you don't really want the drama. When I first came into the movement, I was kind of weirded out because of how much information was coming at me so fast. And I thought, oh no, I'm going to have to memorize all this. But memorizing the true earth and what's really going on out there isn't too difficult. But then I had this gut feeling that I couldn't get on streams, or I couldn't get on like meetups like this if I didn't know as much as Austin Whitsitt or Bob or Jaron. But really, everybody that's awake and willing to hear someone else out on what they think the truth is and what's out there is just as valuable as an Austin Whitsitt. So you bring a very like musicality to it, and humor, and like you said, that one-liner in a song can really capture somebody. So I too feel like let's just drop the drama. I was in a couple Discord groups like Modern Day Debates, and all they wanted to do was slam me and call me a fool and say, well, you didn't go to school, or you're uneducated. But then I found like the anti-disinfo, the Discord channel that Shane runs, and it's a lot more peaceful. People can say different ideas without getting slammed or called stupid, and it's just so welcoming to be around like-minded folks that are willing just to hang and talk truth.
Yeah, no, it's nice. Sorry, Shane, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing verbally. I'll nod.
Yeah, there were days when I used to listen. When I first started listening to Globebusters, like, this is way over my head. It was in the early days of Flat Earth. I couldn't understand. Like, I would listen to it for 3 hours, and there was only like 10 minutes would sink in. 10 minutes would make sense. It's like, oh God, I don't know. I'm not sure if I could listen to this anymore. It's just far too deep for me. But I thought, do you know what? If I listen to a 3-hour show and get 10 minutes of it, those 10 minutes are really valuable. I can do something with that. So I continued, and now it makes more and more sense. And I can do, it's just a hell of a journey. And I love the vibe of that show as well. Everybody's so respectful to each other, right? And Bob was just great at that. He was just so nice and respectful. And he also hated the drama as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
He really hated all of that shit, and I'm one of them. I can't listen to that. So I really gravitate more to the shows that are like the Melodome. There's no drama there, you know, like Globebuster, no drama there. You know, so that sort of stuff just resonates with me. I don't want to hear arguments. I've listened to debate after debate, and it's just like I want to turn it off. It's like, this is not a debate. This is an argument. It's so low frequency for me. It just makes me feel horrible. I can't watch it. It's just you know, some of the big debates I really like watching now. I love watching Austin. He's just he's not human, I don't think.
Yeah.
But, how do you do that? So I love watching him, and because I know he's going to tear the opponent up in pieces, and a part of me really likes that. So I like the drama there, because it's like watching a wrestling match in a way. But no, but the real nasty drama, the real, you know, the name calling and the shield calling and that, I have no time for that at all.
Absolutely. It's actually a huge, it's a big deficit in the community that I'm hoping to fill. I'm trying to, when I approach Globers, approach in a way that's more of a conversation, more of a way of mutual understanding, and how can we reach common ground and progress the conversation in a way that's productive. And that way we can both walk away, even if we don't agree, we can at least walk away respecting the, you know, pillars of, you know, the other's belief, hopefully. At least that's what I hope to get out of it, some better understanding, but a lot of the times it does seem to fall on deaf ears. So I definitely feel the sentiment, Alex.
Well, I mean, that's why I started my own Discord thing, because I went to Discord to talk to like flat earthers, right? So I ended up in 24 flat earth Discord, which was cool for like a week, right? And then some dude came in and told me what I can't talk about and what I can't speculate on. And I was like, yeah, this isn't for me. So how do I like the community? How do I do this, right? So we have mostly flat earthers, a couple Globers, but only the most well-behaved, respectful, will never interrupt, won't overtalk. There to give the globe perspective if you should need it, but otherwise mostly just chill with you, right? And that's kind of the atmosphere that I gravitate toward, and that's why when I didn't see it, I kind of built it myself, right? So it's a really great place.
When I hear people like Professor Dave, or when I hear that, it just makes me feel dirty. It makes me feel like I need a shower afterwards, you know?
Yeah, the not Professor Dave, yeah. Although
exactly.
I do want to see him debate Witsit, because
he won't.
Yeah.
He won't.
I mean, I don't mind a challenge. You know, during one of the Alex Gleason's book presentation, a female, I can't remember what her name is, but she challenged on the whole moon and the calendar that is presented in Alan Gleason's book that I've been trying to work on. Now, I'm a very new flat earther, so, you know, and I'm just researching this. So I want the challenge to stretch my brain to do more research. So I appreciated that. And she was very, very nice. And I think she made some really, really good points. So it's not that we don't want the debate. We just don't want to be called every kind of name in the book, and they bring nothing to the table.
Well, people see that. That's the beauty of it. People see, like, the whole Dave and Dave, when they did that debate, they saw how Professor Dave was just ad hominem and just insulting, and he was really not addressing any of the points. So I think that's really good in a way for Flat Earth, because people are like, why is he being so aggressive when Dave Weiss is being so cordial and so polite? So I think in a way, it kind of helps.
Yeah, and one of my favorite things to do is when Mindshock puts out a debate overview. I don't know if you've gone to Mindshock's channel. He'll do an analysis of the debate. He's
he's the guy that kind of he's like
yeah, he uses a fake voice or whatever, but when he breaks down who's doing the ad homs and who's doing the zingers and who's not, it becomes you don't even have to watch the whole thing. You can just skim through the video and watch the Globers just mount like 400 or 500 ad homs, and
so another ad hom.
He's so good.
Well, but what you were saying a minute ago, you know, knowing that it's all frequency, knowing that it's all resonance, I think that the movement is really gaining speed because people are so tired of drama and lies and deception, especially with what we've been through the last 3 years. And it's not so much that we're really arguing science and facts and the shape of the earth. It's that we're all wanting to migrate away from the darkness and move towards the light. And instantly you can tell when you're talking to somebody if they're open and available to hear you and listen, or if they're just closed-minded, closed-hearted, and they're just wanting to focus on what they call the science, which we know is scientism, pseudoscience, philosophy. And if they're just like the math, the numbers, the religion is here, it's like, I don't want that, bro. I want the truth. And so it's really cool.
People like that, those people are unreachable, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Look at the debate that Whitsitt did with Bryant. Is it the Bryant guy? Is that his name? It's just
PhD.
like, the PhD, just the myopathy, what's the word?
Myopathy, yeah.
Myopathy, just so myopic. It's just, you'll never ever reach someone like that. You'll never ever reach someone like Fight the Flat Earth. I'm sure he's an agent. He used to be a military thing or something like that. They will never change their stance, no matter how much facts and logic you put in front of them. Sometimes I think it's pointless even engaging these people.
It's actually
well, I mean, all right. So I did some things with FTFE. His benefit, even though he's, duplicitous and just awful, is that people see that immediately and they feel it inherently. And he's created more flat earthers than I could ever hope to.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would say this too. If you really wanted to know what someone like that thought, you would have to have a private conversation with him. You would never get his real opinion, I think, over a live conversation on YouTube. Especially considering that he has an audience that he has to cater to. So, and
how fake is that? How fake is that you can't get someone's honest opinion like face to face? Come on, bro, just level with me. Little movie there, but you'll never get. And how fake is that he can't be himself, or you can't? It's just it speaks volumes. Like you say, people like that create more flat earthers. So bring it on.
Well, I don't think Bryant had a bad attitude. He was just totally closed to thinking outside the box that he was trained in and programmed in because he has a PhD, et cetera. I think PhD Tony was tripping, and Mark, was really tripping and bringing a lot of negativity. And you'll watch people; they'll get so desperate because Austin, like you said, is dismantling them, that they'll just begin the personal attacks and over talking and yelling personal attacks. And really, true earthers are born watching this kind of action.
Yeah. It does a lot. It does a lot of good, doesn't it? Really, when you think about it. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like half of me is like, I can't bear to watch this, but then again, it's actually, like you say, it's creating a lot of flat earthers. I don't think they have a leg to stand on anymore because people can see through this, right?
Mm-hmm. Our buddy Cracker / Invisible Man joined us. Welcome, dude. Yeah, we can hear you. Sorry, man.
Hey, can you hear me? Oh, I wasn't sure. Yeah, me and Boston had a good little conversation the other morning about the electrodynamics of the Earth. Yeah, that was kind of neat.
Heck yeah, you're always dropping knowledge.
Yeah, so let's see. The FTFE, I've done like Discord events with him, right? We've hosted like debates. I hosted the first debate with him and Whitsitt. I think it was good for the community for him and Whitsitt to face off publicly one time because he had to say things like, I don't know how or why, but I know that you're wrong. Like, yeah, that'll convince the globe sellers. That's grade A flat earth material right there, man,
Well, it's all these discussions that for people like me that I'm not, I don't have the language of all that science, but I do like the art. So it's inspiring for the musicians. It's inspiring for the artists and, so many different ways. And I think that makes them afraid too, because their art, their CGIs are becoming a joke. People aren't taking them seriously anymore, and they're just symbols of lies now. So, the whole movement is, inclusive in this new truth art, about how the world works. And this German telegrammer, he's creating, he created the moon map, Earth, that was just very just amazing piece of art for this map. And now he's doing the ether. And so I just sent that to Shane this morning. So all of that is inspirations because of listening to all of this information that Whitsitt and all of you have put together. So.
Yeah, and it doesn't even matter if we're really right or not. It's just that these guys had 500 years to figure this stuff out, and here we are. We're just starting and we're investigating this new information. to contribute to the truth. And I find that fascinating where we can share all of these ideas with each other, which is why specifically I like talking to flat earthers, because they're more open-minded, they're less Pavlovian trained, and you just get a lot more learning out of these kind of people that we're around right now.
Mm-hmm. And so because I'm an advocate for the homeschool movement, I homeschooled our children. I have over 20 years experience and trying to start a business with that. This is just reorganizing the curriculums in the homeschool movement, which that's why we need the art, right? That's why we need the experiments. That's why we need these discussions. So, that we can teach our children.
Yeah, the Flat Earth Man range of books springs to my mind now. That's an incredible tool because it was when Dave Weiss said to me on a stream, I think it was on with THC, Mike LeBrush, shout out Mike LeBrush, THC Live. He said, why don't you put your songs into book format for kids? And I was like, oh, dude, that sounds like a bit of a task. But the more I thought about it, that is such a great idea, and they're great for homeschooling because they're basically my songs in book format. There's a QR code in the back that you can scan. It takes you right to the music video so the kids can sing along. So they're not only being entertained with all the visuals and the songs, they can sing along and they're learning some stuff and it's sowing some seeds. And I wish there was 10 more of me sometimes because
that's one thing I find fascinating about your music is you include so much information. And I've shared your songs with so many people, like my friends, they love your music. Like
everyone does. Everyone does.
I mean, what's not to like? I mean, obviously you're going to get some. I like it, but if you're doing it's songs in different voices and different genres, and you're trying to do everything, there's going to be something that someone's going to go. Actually, I didn't like this guy before, but this track really bangs. So I quite like that.
And you include so much information. And another thing I think that is important to homeschooling is, like when you're in a school, you're trapped in this box. They put you in a prison and then they send you home with 5 hours of homework. You never get outside. You never observe anything in nature. And that leads back to something like Romans 1, where they're talking about, the invisible things of the world are known by those things which are created. So you have to get outside and investigate this stuff yourself. That's how I learned everything. That's how I started questioning the science when I saw things in nature that weren't compliant with the things that I was learning in this Pavlovian training system that they call a public school.
Correct.
So you encourage kids to get outside, experiment, do some things like put a milk jug that's cold out in the sun and see what it does. And there you have your air pressure without containment. You have your Boyle's law, and you don't even need to explain how it works to them. They'll be like, oh, yeah, it heats it up and the volume increases. And, oh, well, what causes that? And they figure it out on their own. You don't need to teach them.
Mm-hmm. I never told our daughter, go and learn Korean. She said, ooh, that's a cool Asian language. It has an alphabet, Mom. The Chinese don't have an alphabet, so I'm going to learn Korean. I never told her that. So it works in all areas, out in the garden with our sons. One really loved rocks and, couldn't wait to pound them open to see what was inside of them. And then we have this man that talks about flat earth with the heart, and he's talking about the rocks being in the shape of the heart. That are these petrified hearts. I don't know if you saw that whole video.
That's one of my best buddies. His name's Stellium 7. His name's Mike. He lives 5 minutes from me.
Oh, wow.
Nice. World, right?
He's done some great work on petrified hearts. He keeps fighting, and the mountain that we both live close by as well. He's done some incredible of that. The Monco Mountain in Spain. He's found some incredible anatomic correlations between that mountain and an elephant. It's like this Titan mammoth in our backyard. So Stellium 7, shout out to him. Go and watch his work. It will blow your mind.
The behemoth, maybe.
Well, I mean, it's a kilometer. It's about a kilometer tall, and I think is it the Book of Enoch that talks about giants that were like 3 L's, or was it something else like which turns out to be about a kilometer? Funny enough, but There you go.
Yeah, and then we have the giant trees and like chapter, what is it, 66 of the Book of Enoch, where the angels labored at the trees.
Mike's been doing some great work on giant trees as well. There's a lot of evidence for that. I mean,
Yeah. So you mentioned ODD. Between ODD and you guys were like 90% of my truth music playlist. Because when I started truth, I had this music phase where all I would listen to was truth music, like no matter what. So it was like you, ODD, and like a couple other people that pretty much dominated the list.
I've got to give FMX a shout out because he's just starting a radio show. I don't even know Flatman X. He's just doing a stream every night. I think he's doing a stream where they're putting the truth of vibes out there. So he's just playing nothing but conscious music, which is brilliant, and having a little chat in between songs and that, and just throwing some truth bombs out there. So go check out Flatman X on Rockfin. He's doing streams every night, conscious music, which I fully support. Brilliant.
Yeah, and that's cool because look, I don't know how many years ago it was now, but that's when I got with ODD, and it was like my whole idea to do like the whole ancient tree research project that we did part one and two. Yeah, we put that together with him and Rosette and this other guy named Shadi that was from Lebanon, who had like relatives that were like 7.5 feet tall, and he showed pictures of them, how they have a lot of very tall people in his country. And then Lebanon was had the tree on their flag and everything. And we investigated all of that about Cyprus and everything.
Nice.
But that was a neat little project.
Here we have Explore Flat Earth, dude. Welcome, man. On camera and everything.
Whether it's mud, water, dirt, leaves.
Ooh.
Cracker. Stop hot micing.
Something that would match something we have. I think that makes sense.
Okay.
Another, I think it was a friend of Skiba. I have it here. Anyway, so I went to the Flat Over Fest with my husband here in Greenville, South Carolina. And a real breaking point for us was the structure of the tabernacle. And I don't know if anyone knows about that. Shane, I don't know if you have a picture of that, but
it's like the CERN dome they have over there. They have the CERN dome, and it's like the hole in the middle, a half dome with a hole in the middle. It's also the same bowl plasma magnet shape that the guy in Primer Fields used to, debunk gravity and the black holes and dark matter and all that wonderful stuff.
Which is nothing but a Gaussian hemisphere, which is charge distribution. That's all it is.
Right. So that the holies of holy is in the center. He restructured it according to the Bible, and we bought the book, and I'll see if I have it, but I think I have it right here.
Yeah, it's like charge distribution.
So a shout out to this man, Andrew Hoy. And he's the one that, talking to him, introduced me to Skiba. I didn't know about him before. So we even got him to sign it.
Wow.
Nice.
I thought that was, yeah.
Oh, speaking of Skiba, that's a little story with McToon, right? Rob Skiba went to the same church as McToon, as MC Toon or whatever his name is.
Oh.
How is that possible?
Well, I don't know. No, well, when I first talked to McToon, after like the camera was off, I had like a 40-minute talk with him, and he gave me this story about how his main, I deduced that his main mission to why he goes on and talks about flat Earth, he thinks he's helping, right, is because Rob Skiba was like taught flat Earth to his kids at Sunday school. I don't know about church. I don't know if that's related or the same thing, but he seemed to like have this like personal vendetta against it. How dare you teach my kids this nonsense? But honestly, I'm not sure if it's true or not. I just know that's what he told me the first time I talked to him with no cameras rolling.
Wow.
Wow, that's intense. Hey, I'm going to dip out. I've got to do a run. So I got my 11th Boston Marathon on Monday, and y'all wish me luck to that. I'll let,
Hell yeah, dude.
Explore Flat Earth, say some stuff. But also I dropped in the chat, Sean Griffin last night on Kingdom in Context had a long interview with Free Float. And I think she might have been Greek. He was talking in a way that was really clear and nice and slow. And they went over so many topics. So check out Kingdom in Context later. It's fascinating.
Nice. Thanks, JT, and good luck.
Thanks for having me on.
I know.
And Alex, you keep rocking. Everybody keep doing your thing. You're all lights in this dark world.
Nice to meet
What
you,
a
JT.
good guy.
While he's making an exit, I do want to do a huge shout out to the people supporting Chris Castro over on the Cash App. Thanks for the generous donation. No questions, though, guys. It is a Q&A. If you have any questions for the conspiracy music guru, then feel free to fire away.
Yeah, on my side, I don't get questions. I got a lot of people stopping by to say how much they love you, though. So I guess that's probably the whole temperament here.
I got compliments to you, bud, because like you've actually helped me turn a couple of my real life friends into flat earthers. And I tell these guys all the time, I'm like, my friends are very open to it in real life. Like all of them, almost all of my friends, except for maybe like one or two, all of them are literally flat earthers now. And part of it is because of his music.
I love that. You see how powerful music can be? Just a catchy chorus. Once you get that catchy chorus in someone's head, then like I say, like my albums are like bags of seeds. You just like it's this magic. It's like I love it. I love it.
Scattergunning seeds. Yeah, exactly.
Plus the imagery and everything that you use, like what you see in the background during the song is tells the whole story, you know.
The visuals are essential in my. I mean, the songs are catchy, but you have to have the visuals if you want to get the full experience. Yeah, I try and put as much in there as possible because you only have 5 minutes in a song or 10 minutes of my longest song, but you don't have much time, in this TikTok era. So you got to get as much information visually and lyrically as possible, and they're like little truth bombs, aren't they? So they're really effective. I love that.
Yeah, it's just like ODD or some of the other truth music. It's a very powerful thing when you listen to that. That's why they use music with the kids now, or the children. I don't like to say the word kids, but they use it with the children to try to influence them with the industrial Hollywood music. And you see where it's leading to. You see the influence on these children, and it's kind of bad.
Dude, you just look at the music industry. Oh, it's just so dark about because they don't understand the power of a catchy chorus. I kissed a girl and I liked it, right? All of that sort of stuff. And you look at what that Sam Smith was doing at the Grammys and shit like that. I mean, just look at every Grammy performance, for God's sake. I mean, it's just it's so dark. But I'm trying to do the polar opposite of that. But there's only one of me, that's the problem.
Yeah, it's kind of like a counter spell. Like these people, when they cast all these spells and things, well, they broadly cast the music. So it's kind of, it kind of is witchcraft in a way.
It is. It's definitely witchcraft. Specifically when you start diving into, the frequency manipulation of it all, when you start following the money and start looking at, it was Rockefeller that funded the 440 hertz, was it? Oh, right, okay. So they're manipulating it on every level now, So it's just I can't remember the last time I actually listened to a mainstream media song, a mainstream song. It repulses me.
And even
there's only one of you, but what you are doing is influencing so many more.
Yeah, represent upon
to the light. And, do what you can because it only takes one verse. I think it was who's that in Music and Lyrics, this movie, and it said it's only that one little verse. You got sunshine in a cloudy day. He does that. He goes, that moves more people than all of those Grammys with all their darkness. So you're fine.
And even when you go back to things like I always refer to this, and Shane's probably tired of hearing me say it, but Psalms 19, where it talks about the stars emitting the sounds and producing knowledge for us, that technology was so important to these ancient people.
Yeah.
They knew that.
Yeah. And in the Song of Deborah, it says, and the stars in their course fought against Sisera. The stars fought against Sisera. Yeah.
So it does. It has a huge human influence on our behavior, but we have to be receptive to that. And we're replacing our natural music with this artificial music that's coming out of Hollywood. And on top of that, they're producing these destructive interference tones instead of constructive interference tones.
Not not only that, but there's so much manipulation in the music industry. And now add to that AI. Musicians and artists are going to get very, very lazy. You can get AI to write a song. You can get AI to remix a song. I saw a video the other day of a guy telling AI, make me a song. I want it to be an EDM sort of sound, electro dance music. I want to drop just before the chorus. I want it to sound a bit like Justin Bieber. I want to have this sort of sound, blah, blah, blah. And he inputted all the information that he wanted AI to do, waited about 2 or 3 hours, and it spat out this track that was everything that he asked for. So that's a little bit worrying. That I would never use AI to make my own, because I could never call it my own if AI wrote it for me and AI, produced it for me. But that's where the music industry is going. It's just going to
actually said, I'm trying to remember, I think it was in Spirit of Radio. So all this machinery making modern music can still be open-hearted, but endless compromises challenge the illusion of integrity. And that's kind of where, we're going to the extreme now, where they're putting it completely in the hands of these machines. So there's no human element to it at all, or it's completely plagiarized. Because if anybody knows how AI works, that's all it does is take from data pools and then recycle that information when when prompted. So it's really just recycling old music. If that starts happening, we're not going to get anything new. But all of this, to me, is an indicator that the human element for music will never really go anywhere. And if they do try to push it that way, it's just going to create a whole new opportunity for a market for people like yourself who actually do create honest, organic music that touches the soul.
It could be a thing of the past, couldn't it? Honest, organic music that touches the soul. That could be a thing of the past. That's worrying.
Mainstream, possibly, but I never worry too much about the mainstream, right? Because eventually that soullessness is going to fall away and collapse in on itself. There's just no other end result for it. So I think, again, when that stuff starts to be pushed that way, with our own great reset, if you will, we'll have the opportunity to have our own music and be creative. And obviously, the truth community is not going to rely solely on artificial intelligence to create and make all the decisions and do all that good stuff. Music, in particular, has a way of actually getting through people's walls via frequency. It's something that is very much akin to brainwashing too, especially when you talk to about the catch that musics have, where they're repetitive, repeating the same line over and over and over again with a certain frequency behind it. So people do need to be very cautious about the music, and that's why I like playing your Solfeggio, True Solfeggio album throughout my Tribune show. I've been playing that at the end or in the midway point of every song to kind of help lift people's spirits, get them in the right frequency. And another thing that's also really good, of course, why they're so big on entertainment is that entertainment, things that make people laugh, feel good, and community also have the same way of creating a frequency and getting past people's walls. So we do need to utilize that to our benefit, one of which I will go ahead and shamelessly plug the Truth or Trivia that we are going to be having on April 19th on the Mellow Dome. Again, legendary channel over there. We are doing a huge fundraiser for the families of Bob Nodell and the Tinfoil Hat family. We do really appreciate all that they have been doing for us, and so we want to make sure that we give back and help out in their time of need. So all the proceeds during that show, we've already raised over $2,000, and we'd like to go ahead and raise as much as we possibly can to help them out. So definitely check that out on the 19th. And I did want to ask.
It's a link for that in Discord. And I wanted to mention something just real quick. Like, I noticed this, and I've told this story to a couple of people, that I was tripping on mushrooms, and I tuned all of my music to 432. Any music that comes into my computer, I retune it.
Well, he records it in that, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, if it's not in 432, I change it. So I have it on a playlist, and I was tripping mushrooms one time, and I noticed I had my windows open, and I was outside listening to the music, and I was listening to like the crickets and the things outside. And my music for 432 was perfectly in tune with the crickets and the birds and everything.
There you go. There it is. I've heard birds singing outside, and I pick up my guitar and I've got a digital tuner. I'm like playing with the birds. I'm like, they're singing in 432, right? So when they say 432, yeah, totally. Do you mind if I just step out and have a quick piss? And I think we've got a new member on the panel, so give me a minute and I'll be back.
Sure. Yeah, what's up, Explore Flat Earth? Welcome, dude. Can we hear you? Yeah, we go. No.
And I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you so much for inviting me and including me.
Tap to speak.
Patricia.
Thanks for coming, Patricia. You're always welcome.
Can you hear me, Shane?
Yeah, we got you. So we can either hear or see you, I guess. We can't have both.
Yeah, I can either talk. This is, I guess, the Zoom app. I can either talk or I can be on video. So.
That's weird.
It's all good, man. Hey, welcome. Thanks for taking part. Anyway, we do have a question, I think, from Discord, an actual good question from Elijah when he gets back. So that's good. Everyone just came to show how much they love him. They didn't actually ask any questions. They're just like, yo, we love you. Thanks. Keep crushing. See ya. That's everyone's comment.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, I've been watching that Cosmo or whatever conspiracy music guru for a long time.
Yeah, man. Well, as long as I've been awake, which is like, less than 2 years.
I've been watching him for like 5 years.
Very few do I run into flat earthers that have been around since like the very, very beginning, like when the videos first started coming out. Man, it's crazy though. It's like we do owe a lot to the to this COVID wave, waking a lot of people up, creating this new momentum for the truth community. I mean, after all, when you see the chains, the bars closing in around you, you start to pay a little bit more attention, start to get a little bit more active.
Yeah, so I've been in Flat Earth since like 2013 or 12. It was somewhere in between there is where I made that transition. And it was very easy for me. Like, I'm like, oh, man, they fucked with us.
What was the first, Cracker, what was the first piece of evidence or first video that you saw that led you to it? Because that's pretty early, dude. 2012, 2013. That's like...
I've always kind of questioned it. Like I remember asking my teacher in 3rd grade, I was like, how to swing in a bucket of, just like I said about Bill Nye, how to swing in a bucket of water that is contained around proved gravity. That's centrifugal force. And I even realized this when I was little. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense because it seems like the water would fly off of the earth if it was spinning. That how in the world would it keep it to it and then cause a bulge in the middle, which is the opposite of what they're actually telling us. So they have these conflicting narratives and they try to use them both to try to make excuses for their stupid, retarded, flawed model. And then I started questioning gravity. Gravity was the first thing when I started questioning gravity. And I remember seeing Theoria Apophysis, Ken Wheeler's video about gravity. And I thought, man, Einstein's full of shit. And then that kind
he is.
So I kind of figured out a lot of it on my own. And then I just came to the conclusion that it wasn't what they told us it was. I didn't know if it was flat or not. And then that's where it led me into that investigation. So it was very smooth for me. I think the first thing I did was went back through my YouTube channel and erased anything that had to do with aliens from outer space. I erased every channel that talked about heliocentrism.
Cracker, just so you know, you are dominating the conversation, my friend.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, so we do have a question from our Discord from our good buddy Elijah for you, Alex, if you're ready. I think it's a good one. He says, could you ask him if he's ever thought of doing a song where it's you talking to your childhood self? Like that question, if you can go back and give advice to your 10-year-old self, what would you say?
Ooh, I mean, I kind of did that visually with the song Don't Believe in Gravity. It was like, I remember when I learned in school about gravity. It was so cool. And the song kind of like goes on to where he meets his dad, and his dad's like, yeah, you shouldn't really believe everything you learn in school, kind of thing. So that was like, and I used a little version of me and a big version of me. So I'm kind of talking to myself, like, well, wow, God, I wish I could remember the lyrics. There's so many lyrics in my songs, I can't just recall them instantly. But the whole video is like a big me talking to a little me. So I kind of did that. But
what's it called?
It's called Don't Believe in Gravity.
It was the first song I ever heard from you.
Yeah, it was one of the first. Yeah. So what?
Right. So he would tell his younger kid, "Don't believe in gravity. Don't fall for that shit." What a good answer.
Basically, yeah. So it's kind of already been done, really. So yeah.
That's a good.
Yeah, that's the first song I heard by Guru. It was that Gravity song, and it was pretty good. Appreciate it.
It's catchy as hell, and one thing I'm good at is catchy, and I think that's really important. I'm kind of using that satanic music system of like, you know, because music could be so much more than a 5-minute song. It used to be so much more than that. If you look at, you know, Beethoven, you put the sheet music of Beethoven next to Cardi B, for instance, you'll see a dramatic difference. So where I think the Beatles were very instrumental in creating that chorus. And I use that catchy chorus, you know, because I know it works, because I'm using that because it gets into your head. It gets, you know, don't believe in gravity, don't believe in fantasy. Right? It's just you can't get that out of your head. So the catchy chorus is so good. If you're using that system, it can be really, you know, really quite transforming.
Yeah, all of your videos right here on my computer, like saved.
Yeah, man.
No, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I know, I love the disclaimer he puts out, right? I felt really free using his stuff for intros all the time. It seems like he kind of gave you direct permission to do that, right? But I guess if I was on YouTube, I would have had some issues. Good thing I'm not.
Yeah, like we said before we came on, like YouTube will like, oh, this song's got, because like I say, when I release a song officially, it becomes officially copyrighted. And if anybody uses it, then YouTube says this is a copyrighted single. You can't use it. You can't. Well, you can use it. You don't get a strike or anything. You're just not able to monetize that video. But I always say, use my music, please do. So then you have to open a dialogue with YouTube and then say, oh, I have permission from the artist. And it becomes a pain in the ass from there onwards. But I always say, yeah, please use the music because it's important and it's very, you know, it's doing good things. So please use it as much as you can. But you might not be able to monetize said video because YouTube are tyrants.
Yeah, I like to control everything.
I left YouTube in a couple of years ago because I knew that I was going to get kicked off anyway. So I was just like, well, I might as well just delete my account. After 15 years of having my account on YouTube, I deleted it.
Thing is, I like YouTube. I know they are bastards, and I know Amazon are bastards, and all of that. But you know, and Spotify are bastards, iTunes are bastards. It's all this big thing. Apple are bastards. So do I remove my music from all of those places, or do I use them? Do I kind of troll them and have my Flat Earth Man books on Amazon and get in the back door and use it as like a, you know, what do they call it in the back door? The Trojan horse. You know, and that's kind of what I'm doing, and I'm still trying to. On YouTube, you can be quite clever with the lyrics and say things like, "I'm Big Pharma and I'm here for your health. I mean no harm. I just want to help." You know, which one of my. So you're saying everything the algorithms want to hear, but of course, when you're displaying, you know, the visuals of vaccine injuries and stuff, it's obvious what I'm saying. So I like to remain on them platforms like Amazon and YouTube because that's where all the normies are, and that's for the people that this music is really helping. So people say you shouldn't use Amazon because they're the devil, and I'm like, well, you know, I'm trolling Amazon.
Right. No.
YouTube, you know,
You got to use their systems. You got to use it to do good. I think that's the proper move, not to remove yourself. I mean, you have to maintain contact with them. But like, so that video, Big Pharma, how is that allowed on YouTube? I guess is my question.
Wow,
it's still up, isn't it?
No, it's not. It got removed.
Did it?
Lyrically, it's everything the algorithms want to hear. Like I say, I'm Big Pharma, and I'm here for your health, and I mean no harm. I just want to help. My juice is free for you, my friend, because I know you'll be again and again, right? But so that got past, the lyrics got past the algorithms, and the music got past the algorithms. But the visuals that I was showing of vaccine injuries and that, with people literally shaking in their hospital bed like that, I was showing that time and time again. Even a little infant, it was quite a powerful video. So then after about 6 months of it being up, maybe even a year of it being up, it suddenly got taken down. And I don't think that was algorithmic. I think there was a human element to that. I think somebody complained, or many people complained, because the visuals were very disturbing. So what I did is I re-uploaded it, but I then censored all, or pixelated all of the vaccine, of the injuries, of people shaking in the bed. I sort of pixelated that all out and re-uploaded it, and it's still there today. So, and the full version's on my website, conspiracymusicguru.com, by the way. So the full uncensored version is on my website. But yeah, it did get taken down. So did I Told You So, because I said that COVID was a word that rhymes with jokes, right? I said those two words that you can't say together, COVID and the word that rhymes with jokes. And so that got taken down. It got banned from Spotify. It got banned from iTunes as well. So then I had to bleep out the word hoax in order to get it through the algorithm, right? So it's like fighting this this thing. So yeah, I've had my fair share of censorship. My 5G video as well, which was no amount of evidence would ever persuade an idiot. That came down as well. So
That was actually the first one I found.
The original still remains. I tried to re-upload it again without the advert at the start because the advert at the start was quite annoying. So I thought I'll re-upload it without the advert, and then it got banned. It's like, but the original still remains. So it's like an ongoing battle. You have to be very careful. I kind of like trying to outsmart the algorithms really, but I'm learning. But I do like being on YouTube. I want to remain on YouTube because that's where the norm is. Find me.
Right. Yep, that's like, so if I did like some stats on it just real quick in case anyone wants to know, like did our Rumble and Odyssey and BitChute, but like YouTube on average gets something like 32 billion monthly visits, and the closest competitor, let's call it Rumble, is up near like 230 million monthly visits. So that's the scale that we're dealing with. The vast majority of everyone is definitely still on YouTube. However, everyone who's not on YouTube is really of a similar mind that everything needs to be true. That's pretty much all the truthers are off of YouTube at this point. The sheeple definitely are there, and there is a lot of them now.
I just think you can what's going on there? No, I just think you can use certain code words, and I can still say what I want to say if I sort of disguise it with sarcasm, comedy. I can still get the message through on YouTube if I, just use sort of code words. Instead of saying vaccine, you say jibby jab or the experimental arm spear and things like that.
Government juice, as you called it.
The juice, right? Yeah.
You want some government juice? It's never been tested. I've definitely been caught faking it before. I've been heavily fined for producing it, but do you want it for free if I can't get sued? What? Yeah. No.
I don't mind if you big. I don't mind if you small. My juice so magic, one size fits all. Right?
See, that's a wonderful lyric, isn't it?
Yeah.
The first one I ever found from you was your 5G one. What you just mentioned, I forget the title, but I remember I used it.
Of evidence will ever persuade
yeah, that I remember because like I made like my first 5G video to put like compilation stuff together, and I used like the news clip in the beginning to set the pace, and at the end I ended with your song, but you also used the same news clip, and it was like wonderful symmetry. I was oh, now he's laughing at the thing that was oh, look at that, that's great.
Yeah, I love it.
But then I found out that you did flat earth stuff. This was like before I found flat earth, right? Because I wasn't a flat earther right away. I was a truther, right? I was like, COVID's fake, vaccines are poison, government is evil, a Bohemian Grove exists, people meet, there's human trafficking, pedophiles are everywhere, Hollywood is corrupt, holy shit, oh, and the earth is flat. Yeah, well, fucking, of course it is at that point, right? You're like, well, the whole society
yeah, exactly. Exactly, yeah.
Flat.
Oh, fuck it. Of course the earth is flat. It might as well be at that point. Yeah, I love that. I'm surprised you haven't gone fucking mental, really, given that you've had all of this come to you like in the last 2 years. I'm surprised you still have your own mind.
Oh man, I went racing up those steps of ever increasing incongruity to use the conspiracy steps, like, right? It starts like I was suspect of 9/11, but I was 16, dude. I didn't give a shit. I was looking at girls and playing video games. I didn't give a shit about the world or politics or anything real. I was happily a slave. And then later, COVID hit, and I'm like, something about this isn't right. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna fucking find out. Something isn't right. And then like 2 weeks later, not only is COVID fake, but viruses don't exist. Vaccines have forever been poisoning us. Autism comes from this shit. They've been doing it forever. It's always been poison. What a giant scam. The whole medical industry is behind it. Oh, every doctor is pushing it. It's all whoa, right? And then on top of that, it's like, oh, and elections never mattered. Politics isn't real. It's always ever been two sides of the same coin. At the end of that, you're like, and the earth's flat, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, everything just comes like dominoes. It's just like the house of cards comes falling down. Oh, of course the earth is flat. Oh, viruses don't exist. Oh, of course. I'm waiting for the next one as well. I can't wait. But yeah, like I say, it's very freeing. I love it.
Jane, do you remember when I was barking at you? I was like, "Why do you have that glow earth thing in the devil?"
Yeah.
Your logo.
Yeah, dude. It's still it's still like, so I had to switch Zoom apps because I had the wrong Zoom accounts. So I switched Zoom apps, and the one that I was on had that like flat disk of that thing. I'm looking at it going, I didn't know what a straw man was when I made this logo. I was looking at it like, yeah, I've come a long way since then. Good thing I'm not using this to advertise right now. Where'd Tribune go? Tribune's here. Explore Flat Earth. What's up, man? Just chilling.
Yeah, it's pretty funny that how you speak about that kind of stuff. But yeah, I just know the Latin meanings of a lot of words, and the word virus means poison.
Yeah,
so,
poison or slime.
Right there is just. But I know Southern Israelite and a bunch of other people, but he's pretty good at germ theory and the Bible and a lot of other truth.
Yeah, I
truth
was
things.
always suspicious of that.
Yeah.
Dude,
Well,
the fact that, like I don't get sick. Like I've smoked after people, I've drank after people that have been sick, and I've just never been really afraid of it because I just relied on my body to do what it's supposed to do to take care of business. And that was
I
my
think that being a electric being, that if you start, I think Witz says it all the time, that's the negative vibes.
Yeah.
Negative energy.
You're in tune with nature, all of those words are there, and it's like a subconscious thing in our language that tells us what all of this is, like just like the voice of God. What's the voice of God? Well, that's sound.
So so let's see. Have you heard of Larkin Rose? Have you heard of Larkin Rose, Alex?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've got one of his books here somewhere.
Do you?
I did have one of his books. I think I showed it to someone. Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah, he's very, very anti-flat Earth, though, isn't he?
I see. He's only superficial level anti-flat Earth. He doesn't his arguments are so if you looked into it at all, we got his past his cognitive. It's so interesting though because his Candles in the Dark seminar is one of the most influential documentaries that I've ever seen in my life. It's geared about talking to people who are brainwashed, right? And the particular brand that he framed it in is statism, right? Statism is the disease. It's not right. No one has authority over you. No one can tell. That's the whole thing. But it's really comparable to flat Earth versus globe Earth. And I think it's funny that the dude who's a globe Earther wrote the best manual on how to talk to people who are in a cult, how to get people who are brainwashed to listen to you. And the whole secret of it is you don't tell them anything. You don't debate, you don't give your opinion, you don't send them books, you don't say, here's a bunch of stuff to watch. You don't even have your opinion at all. You ask them questions. You bring them to their own cognitive dissonance, right? You can't actually inflict your opinion on them. It has to be their idea, kind of like Inception, right? So if you genuinely want to change people's minds, in your family or your close-knit friends or your coworkers, then you don't debate them. You don't throw links to them. You ask them questions, and then you plant seeds, and then you let them grow. So once they recognize that they already believe a bunch of contradictory bullshit, and again, works just as well for statism as it does for heliocentrism, you're a bunch of contradictory nonsense pseudoscience that they tell me works that I have no proof that it works. And if you apply that method, it's really successful. So I think that someone should use his method to wake him up to flat Earth.
Well, you see in my logo where I wrote the globe Earth religion, and if you look at just read down that list, and when people see that, they actually realize that it is a religion. Just read what's in my logo there, and you can see it.
Yeah, what you're describing is the Socratic method, I believe, where you just lead people to conclusions just by asking them questions. It's very, very effective.
It is. So when you're actually trying to wake people up and not trying to e-flex on the internet or seem smart or have any impact, if your genuine goal is to help people, then that's the approach you take, right? It's something interesting. It's been really effective for me.
Yeah, and you show him things like the quote from Newton that disparages his own gravity theory. He says that people are crazy if they believe that balls in space in a vacuum just attract each other for no fucking reason,
Yeah.
And it's his own quote, so you use their own shit against them. It's the easiest thing to do. You use all their logical fallacies against them. You call them on them as soon as they spit it out of their mouth.
That's you're doing exactly the wrong thing, right? That's not how you convince anything. That's just how you flex on the internet.
It is though, because you can't. And again, speaking from personal experience, right? Because my whole background is sales and marketing. So the last thing that you do when approaching a potential client is challenge them on what they believe. So, for example, let's say I'm doing water systems, right? And I come to somebody who doesn't know anything about it, except for maybe something negative that they've heard from CNN Marketplace, right? Because the news hates water systems. So they say, well, I saw on the news that's a scam, right? The last thing that you would want to do is say, no, what you saw was wrong, right? Because then they're going to be like, oh, what are you talking about? I saw it on the news, blah, 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 blah. What you would want to do is you would want to somehow isolate their objection and move it away from your position. And it's like, oh, yeah, that does happen for companies like that. Let me show you how we're different.
Nice. See, that's definitely what he would say, right? It's because it's not you versus them ever. If you become the adversary, you kind of lost. It's you versus the dumb shit they were taught in their head. And then you and them versus the dumb shit they were taught. right? So you're
one
the
of the
ally.
ways that I approach it is I present the science in a way. I just tell them I'm going to present this to you in a way that you haven't heard before. And you can kind of pick through it and see if what I say makes sense versus what has been taught to you makes sense. So I don't challenge them in a way. Like, that's how I got all my friends. Like, I just talked to them. I just simply talked to them. I didn't force anything. I didn't argue with them.
Real life friends are different.
What I thought was true, and they were like, holy shit, that does make sense more so than what I've learned in school. And so they came to their own self-realization just with the presentation of evidence. So I didn't have to argue. I just presented my own evidence, and then they were like, "Wow, that's just a new perspective on something."
And hey, Crackview, are you the Morgile?
No, that's funny though.
You sound just like him.
The point that basically the point that I feel Shane was trying to make, and not that you can't be effective making a presentation, right, with compelling evidence. You definitely can. But I agree with Shane on this point. The more effective way, just to go back to my example, instead of doing that, an even more effective example would have been to ask them. So tell me more about that. What exactly did you see that that was misleading or a lie, and then get them to tell you exactly what their experience is, and use the Socratic method, just asking them questions to get them to realize that they really didn't see anything as evidence. They just had the news people hold up a glass of water saying, "We know it's a scam." So.
Or you do something like, "Hey, watch this cool song by Conspiracy Music Guru and tell me what you think."
Well, yeah. So that's the thing, right? You don't actually offer links like that at first. That would be like a deterrent, right? But his stuff and art and stuff like that is super helpful and useful. When if they ask for it, you can definitely supply it. But I wouldn't just offer it because that's off-putting, and they tend to reject stuff that you offer like that. But if they go, "Hey, do you have any music about this stuff?" You can be like, "I do. Here's a wonderful guy you can go check out," right?
Unless you're doing an open platform, and then that's still in a way an offer, right? When you put up an open platform, everybody has the choice to engage in that platform. So again, as long as it's a voluntary where they are having to come to you for the information or for the content, that it's just a completely different mindset than somebody trying to put, basically push something onto you, for lack of a better word.
Right.
I had a question. Back for Alex for Conspiracy Music Guru, because I'm big into meditation, into the Solfeggio frequencies, and all that, and I was curious as to your main motivation or inspiration for putting together that album.
Oh God, that goes back about 10 years. I started that album in 2013 when I met a very spiritual lady who I resonated with at the time. She was very, very new agey, and she was opening a like a holistic healing center, and she was doing crystal therapy and all that sort of stuff. I don't know how I got to meet her actually. Oh yeah, that's right. I did an aura photography for my birthday. My wife bought me some aura photography in 2013, and then we went to meet this lady, and she was opening this holistic, and we were very fascinated with each other, and I was just getting into frequency and 432 and that kind of thing. She said, wouldn't it be amazing to have an album like that? And I was, oh, yeah. And I started it in 2013. I started making it, and I sent her a track. She absolutely loved it. But when I sent her the album, she didn't. She said, there's one track, but I hate all the others. And it really knocked my confidence. I was like, oh, crap. And I was just starting to produce at that time. I was just starting to, literally the first music I was producing outside of ringtones, which is my main bread and butter, by the way. So I just started, producing full songs for this lady, and she's just really pissed all over it. And I was like, okay, it really knocked my confidence. So that album kind of laid on my hard drive for about 10 years. And then I listened to it again probably about 8 years later. And I thought, this is actually quite good. I need to revisit this. I really need to, sort of start. It was half finished at that point. So I really, started learning a bit more about frequency and frequency manipulation. And I saw the power in it. I thought, well, let's just do it anyway. Let's just put it out there and see what happens. So I kind of did my own sort of scientific experiment in a way by putting those frequencies in that album and just releasing it and gauging the feedback. And the feedback was quite amazing. So it was like, so the inspiration came from her. It came from the lady that hated it, And now it's turned into this album that everybody loves. So I wish she could see it in a way, so I could do the whole "I told you so" thing again, because you know, the feedback has been phenomenal.
The thing that you know, speaking of feedback, some personal feedback that I have, because I love that album, I listen to it all the time. I actually find that it is very, very good for helping somebody become aware of the subtle sensations that come when doing chakra meditations. A lot of people, I've realized, myself included, for a long time, just kind of ran through the motions of it. You know what the chakras are, you know what they mean, you know what the colors are supposed to be, and you kind of just run through the mental work, but you're not really getting the feelings and sensations that are supposed to come with it. And I found that when using certain frequencies and particularly using your album really, really helps hone in on the I can't really describe it any other way, because it's not really it's a feeling that's very unusual. It's like tingly in a way, a little bit fiery, you could say. But you can literally feel this over every chakra center. And so I definitely like what you've brought to the table.
Well, the chakras resonate, like certain frequencies resonate with these glands in your body. So the whole chakra system is based on the glands in your body. It's like, you know, your like your testes and your ovaries are your base chakra, and then you move up and it's like your adrenal glands, and then your top three are your thyroid, your pituitary, and your pineal. So there it's so that's the throat chakra, the head chakra, and the crown chakra. So they're all related to glandular, and you have these frequencies that are natural that recreate the tones that will put these things in motion, and they balance themselves. And that's the whole reason that you set the chakra system in motion anyways. And it's from the ground up. Notice the ground referring to electricity too.
This is the scientific background for everything you just said, Tribune. How's that? Actually, it's exactly that. Cool.
Yeah, loaded down, right? I love that. So anybody who's listening, you can just go back and replay it and slow it down and wrap your head around it.
I've had some incredible feedback from that album. You know, people telling me that their plants are growing better because they play that album. I've had people say that you know, it eases their anxiety. One guy emailed me, said you know, it helps his PTSD and ADHD. I've had people having almost spiritual experiences with it, you know, and people just bursting into tears. People have been married to the heart track on that. People have, you know, and there was one friend of mine that actually gave birth whilst listening to that track. So it's resonating on people with a level that I never really quite expected. It was like, I didn't realize it would do that, but it's like I say, it was a scientific experiment. Let's put these frequencies, these so-called true solfeggio healing frequencies, let's embed these into some nice guitar instrumentals and see what happens. And the result was, you know, like I say, I get messages from people that having some real experiences with it, and that should tell you something.
So, you ever get any negative feedback from it? Because like I had this T-shirt made during this pandemic called, you know, COVID is fake, masks are useless, vaccines are poison, the government's lying, and I wore it like, you know, grocery shopping, to the bank, on regular errands. So a lot of like little old ladies would see it, and surprisingly, overwhelmingly positive reactions. I got like, hey, I like your shirt, or hey, I agree with everything on your shirt. The only one who didn't agree was like one lady who tapped me on the shoulder, was like, do you really believe what's on your shirt? To which I was like, well, no, I had a custom printed made ship because I don't believe it, right? Like, no, of course, but like overwhelmingly, if you wear like the wake up stuff, or if you put it in their faces, people agree, in my experience. So have you had people just say like, hey, I hate your music, you're the worst?
I get the odd email every now and then, but like it's like 95% of people love it, even if it's just on a superficial level. But I do get the odd dickhead that will email me. I had one yesterday. Flat Earth is demonic. No, they don't leave their email address or anything like the globe isn't. Like fucking hell. So I do get the odd dickhead that loves to email me, but overall, no. I mean, somebody did criticize the True Solfeggio album because it was like a bit new agey, and you know, because you know I labeled the tracks like Crown and Heart and like a lump in my throat, so it was all very chakra based. So I've had a little bit of criticism saying, oh, this is too new agey, but ultimately it's I advertise it on my website as the polar opposite musically of what the Controllers want, and I still believe that. But you're always going to get someone that wants to, you know, put a turd in the punch bowl, so to speak.
Put it in the punchable. So really, only anti-flat earthers reach out to say your music's great. I love the melody, but flat Earth is just stupid. It's a psyop. You shouldn't do it. Although
Yeah, I mean,
well.
I've had Globers comment on my music saying I love the music. I don't agree with a single word you're saying, but I really love the music. So
That's hilarious.
yeah, I love it.
What are you thinking, Tribune? I got like 15 more minutes. So we can wrap it up. Maybe we get some more questions coming in.
Yeah, no problem. I was actually just scanning the chat, scanning everything, seeing if we had any other questions for our main man here. Guys, don't be shy. Feel free to fire away. That is what he is here for. Not very often do you get the chance to get somebody who is so busy producing some of the best content out there on the internet today. So don't miss this chance. I know that there's some things on your mind.
So I wanted to just know if he put out where you can get his ringtones and.
Yeah, I'm actually shocked to learn that you're in the ringtone game. If I had a phone, I'd be all over that.
Oh, dude, I was in the ringtone game. It still is my main source of income. I'm trying to build the conspiracy music guru thing so that I can, not rely on it, but so it's an income for me. It's not yet, but build it and they will come. But I first got into ringtones about 2007, so quite a while ago, and it was a really good revenue for me at one stage. But now the market is so flooded, and it's really hard to make money from ringtones these days. But I was mashing up the iPhone, the default ringtone that came with an iPhone, which was like blink, 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 blink. Blinker, 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 blink, blink, blink. It was that. So I took that and I made it sort of drum and bass or dubstep. So it was like. So I basically remixed all the default ringtones of an iPhone, and they become really successful. I did a right out of it actually, and they're still on iTunes. But I did a sort of clever SEO thing where I titled every ringtone differently. So to find them all as a big batch is quite difficult. I can send you some certainly, but there's only a few left. But most of the ones that actually make money now are the offensive ones. The ones that are actually quite rude, which says a lot about the demographic, doesn't it?
But people are frustrated, so there is a market for tapping into that frustration and giving people that sense of release. That's one of the things I love about wearing like the hardcore slap in the face wake up shirts, is that they do crystallize some things that people have thought and have never had the you could say the balls, the guts, whatever you like to actually say. So people see that and they get inspired. And I do think you're doing great work with the music. It's a niche that I'm not seeing very many people hit, and the way that you do it is completely unique. The genre that you cover, it's almost like metal in a way. Some of the stuff that you do. So I think that there's definitely a lot of room to grow there. A question that I did have for you is how, because I'm just now starting to get more active on TikTok, and I'm finding that they have the largest user base for any platform, it seems like, which is probably why they're making moves to restrict it.
For now.
I was wondering if you had any activity on there, if you've considered using them as a funnel.
No, not yet. I mean, when I release my music through TuneCore on CD Baby, and TuneCore do distribute to TikTok. So I believe my audio is on there, not visually, I don't think. I mean, if people want to take samples of my videos and put them on TikTok, please go ahead. But as I said before, I'm only one dude. I mean, I can't. I'm trying to be on Twitter and Facebook and BitChute and YouTube and all this kind of thing. I'm trying to manage all that myself, and I get a lot of messages, and I'm like constantly in front of the laptop responding to stuff. So it's getting to be this thing now, this monster that I've created, that is now becoming a bit of an issue to manage in a way. So like the idea of going on TikTok and doing TikTok videos, they're kind of a bit daunting really, because it's like another thing that I have to do. I would really much rather spend my time in the studio being creative and let somebody else put my stuff onto TikTok. But I am aware of how TikTok is blowing up in terms of flat Earth. So it's definitely a market to be tapped. It's just like finding the time to do it, you know.
I think TikTok's blowing up specifically because of Troubling Tribune and like Caleb here, right? Those two together are like all of flat Earth on TikTok that I know of, right?
Yeah, from what I found, I'm not
others?
seeing. There's also Derek, Dare to Know. He's pretty good as well. But for the most part, you're right on. When I jumped on TikTok, I saw that there wasn't really shit, for good debates or good, very good content, good back and forths. And so I wanted to, be the one to really bridge that gap. And I like TikTok because there's a lot of newer people on it. And unfortunately, as much as we'd love to just, for lack of a better word, sit in our echo chambers, the lifeblood of the community and the lifeblood of the movement is going to have to be from bringing new people in. It's actually the same with every single business and every single entity that exists. You have to be able to bring new people in to keep growing the idea. So I really wanted to focus on things that tailored towards that newer crowd.
So what is the video limit on TikTok? How many minutes can you have on TikTok as a video?
So you can go up to 12 minutes. However, the best things are the shorter videos. And what I would recommend is you really don't have to change anything that you're already doing. You could take the videos that you're already making. You could take the best little clips from them and you could put those to TikTok. And the reason why you'd want to do it with your own page is because then you're actually going to get to funnel people towards your resources as opposed to them just being audio files that people click. And yeah, they could go the extra mile to find you, but unless it's given to them, your chances of them doing that are shot. So it's much higher conversion rates to actually have the funnel. So as cliche as it seems, you look at other popular channels and what they're doing as far as like the funneling goes, and you just mirror the techniques. Even if you're not as successful as the most successful, you got to think if you're even a quarter as successful as the most successful, then you've made a huge impact.
Yeah, it's getting to the point now where because I'm getting to, instead of me being in the studio being creative, which is what I should be doing, it's getting to the point now where I'm being an administrator and responding to emails and editing and uploading this and doing that. And it's taking me away from what I need to be doing, which is being creative in the studio. And it's becoming quite a thing to manage. So like I said, the idea of like doing a whole TikTok and, if there's anyone out there that wants to take all my stuff and create a channel and liaise with me and, do all that, then great. But it's like, do I need another channel to like I say, it's getting to the point where I'm spending more time managing what I've done rather than doing more than what I should be doing.
I completely hear you there. It's a huge challenge to be able to keep up with everything. So for those of you who are listening, I mean, you pretty much just got, what is that sound coming from? Hold on. Don't tell me that's me. Stopped immediately. I don't know. All right. I hope that wasn't me. In any case, yeah, for those who are listening, you just pretty much got the green light. I mean, this man needs some help putting some stuff over on a TikTok, so that he can focus on doing the things that he actually wants to do. Administrative is tedious. It's tedious, but important.
Pain in the ass.
Absolutely. I might actually I have to consult. One of my buddies is really big into AI and like different things that it can do. And there may be a solution for some of the stuff that can be automated. Maybe take a look at some of that. But I definitely would like to have a conversation in the future. Maybe we can help you out with that. It's something that's like either low or no cost.
Yeah, I mean, my ultimate goal is never been to chase the finances. I think it's important that the content creators are rewarded, of course, but that's never been like the ultimate focus. I just want the music to get out there and people sharing the music is really ultimately important because then it will just grow organically. And then maybe one day I'll be rewarded financially for it, but that's not my ultimate goal. I'm like I said before, I'm powered, by the passion for this message, and I can see how much this music is resonating with people. And I love that. So people want to share it because it does magical things.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I think that's a great tone to end on, though. I think we've got a good 2-hour call. Unless anyone has any other questions, we can wrap this up and publish it out.
Before we go, I just want to say thank you, Alex, for all you do. and keep it up. I appreciate all you do, and
Thank
you
you,
make
man.
great music. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming
I'll do
on.
my best. I'll do my best. You know, I'll as long as I have a breath in me and some fight, you know, and the ability to do it, you know, I will carry on doing what I'm doing. I mean, what else am I going to do? I mean, once you get into this information, it's like becomes a mission. You could become almost obsessed with it. It becomes like a drug in a way, and you just want to inform your fellow slaves in a way, and you want to wake them up because you want them to see what you see. You know, I wrote a song called "I Want You to See." So, you know, I'm going to be very busy. So I think there'll be a lot more content from me. I hope. I'm just waiting for the next creative project, and we'll see where it goes. But yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thanks for coming and talking to us, man. I really appreciate it. Tribune, thanks for being the man and hooking it up and posting it out with me and getting the message out on TikTok too, man. Thank you, bro.
Thanks for having me in and inviting me in to be part of this. And thanks for coming, man. That's awesome.
Excellent. Yeah, thanks
Thanks,
everyone.
Shane. I appreciate it, man. You're doing great work over there at 24/7.
Thanks, man. Much love, everyone.
Awesome.
Thanks for tuning in.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
For those who are who are on my YouTube and Rockfin, I'm going to go ahead and queue up one more song from the Conspiracy. Jesus Christ, I got to figure that out. From the Conspiracy Music Guru. Alex, what's the next best one? I know I asked you for your favorite one before.
I like Space is Fake.
Yeah. Do you know what? I was just about to say that because Space is Fake is the video that took me the longest. That took me 3 months to make that. There's so much going on in that video. Hey, let's play that. Let's play that.
Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and queue it up, and we'll go ahead and get on out of here. Just as before, I'll request that you guys mute your mics because I can't really do anything about it on my end. But we'll go ahead and end on the song, and I will catch you all next time. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, we got the trivia. Make sure you go check out Conspiracy Music Guru's albums. Show some support. He's got great music over there and doing a lot of great work. Make sure you check out the Anti-Disinformation League on Discord and on Telegram. Again, huge shout out to Shane for setting all this up, getting everything going. I got word from Melodome, by the way, that he wants to have a conversation, Shane. So if you're open to that, then
nice, absolutely.
Yeah, he's on Telegram, so he's pretty easy to find. So we'll get that hooked up. But yeah, let me get this queued up. I guess I gotta have to pull over the. No, I don't want to pull over that. Sorry, it's OBS problems. Do the transition because I have the display cap on. All right, guys. Appreciate you. I will see you next time, and let's go ahead and queue up Space is Fake.
One love. See you later, guys. Thanks for having me on. Ciao.
It's wanting to pull up all this other stuff, trying to convince me that space is not fake. Alrighty. Jeez. Shadow ban, man. Where the heck is it?
You can find it pretty easily on Odyssey.
On Odyssey, you said?
I think so.
You should be able to just go straight to my channel and look at most popular videos. I think it's like the fourth or fifth most popular video on there.
Video popular. I told you so. No photographs. Do you still believe we went to the moon? Don't let them take your mind. NASA is faking everything. Space is fake. There we go.
There it is.
Perfect. Stupid commercial. We have such a great audience hanging in there through these technical difficulties. But I appreciate them understanding that I'm not going to pay YouTube anything when they censor the heck out of all the creators. 3 seconds to go. Alrighty.
The Flat Earth Man album is out right now. Oh, that's just faking everything that you have ever seen. Do you still believe we went to the moon? Do you still believe what they're telling you? All y'all watching is a puppet show. Yeah, the whole world's a stage.
I don't know what that is. It said space is fake, but it's like a compilation.
Now keep going. There's like a little ad at the start, so just like fast forward a minute or so.
It's all good. We'll just let it play.
Ain't no photographs or somebody tell me why. Welcome to.
I'm gonna go ahead and hop off the Zoom though, so that we don't get any other feedback. So I will catch you guys later. Peace.
Don't let them take your mind, man. There's no such thing as outer space. We made it all up. Yeah, space is fake. Oh, I don't want to talk about NASA ever again. The Flat Earth Man album is out now. I always wanted to be.
Enjoy the ad, folks.
I'll be in space. At least that's what I thought. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the greatest show on earth. Prepare to be amazed. Please welcome your host for this evening, Mr. Flat Earth Man. Thank you. Listen up. The whole world's a stage and you're in the audience, and everything you see on the stage is fraudulent. Nothing you see before you is fact. Are you ready for your headline act? This act is truly one of a kind. They'll dazzle you and play tricks on your mind. An illusionist with billions of fans. Please welcome NASA. Put together your hands. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's so lovely to see you again. Tonight we have a very special show. There's a few things we want you to know. Tonight we reveal some of our techniques. We'll expose NASA like WikiLeaks. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we'll show you how we fool the world. And when we're done exposing our lies, none of you are gonna realize, even though we're gonna tell you straight, it'll be too hard for you to contemplate. A trick so huge you won't believe, impossible for you to conceive. That's why we tell it, cause you'll reject it. A lie so big you can't accept it. No, you can't. There's no such thing as outer space. We made it all up. Yeah, space is fake. It's the greatest lie that's ever been told. The biggest trick you've ever been sold. We've been pushing this satanic lie. Space is a drug and everybody high. It's only your imagination that's been a space. Ladies and gentlemen, space is fake. We can't believe you fell for it, man. If you tell a lie big enough and frequently enough, it'll be believed. See, there's a solid barrier we can't get through. It's called the firmament between me and you. Go check Word of All Bronze Headstone. He knew about that firmament dome. He left you all a little nodding away. For those of you still able to think, Psalm 19:1, chapter and verse. The firmament shows his handiwork. That's why when our rockets leave the earth, they form a parabolic curve. We'll then switch over to an animation. Then it's over to your imagination. But I'm here to tell you that in reality, our rockets end up in a graveyard in the sea. Our launch pads are on coastal regions. We put them there for a very good reason. Yes, we do. There's no such thing as outer space. We made it all up. Yeah, space is fake. It's the greatest lie that's ever been told. The biggest trick you've ever been sold. We've been pushing this satanic lie. Space is a drug and everybody high. It's only your imagination that's been a space. Ladies and gentlemen, space is fake. We'll know our disinformation campaign is complete when everything the American public believes is false. Yeah, rocket launches are occult rituals. They're there to brainwash the individuals, to make you think that space is real and your money and your mind we can steal. It's so easy to program your mind because you guys watch TV like all the time. We control what you see on your TV because we're a branch of the military. Yeah, we teamed up with those Disney guys. They help us propagate our lies. We make cartoons about space fantasies and put them on TV for all the kids to see. We program you when you're really young. We make space travel so much fun. Then all the kids fall into our trap and all grow up believing our crap. spinner space. Ladies and gentlemen, space is fake.
And now it's over to our friends at Fake X for a short message.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake, honestly.
Thanks, Elon. What a genius.
Yeah, we go to Devon Island with our robot cars, and we convince you we got a rover on Mars. What about the incredible ISS? Is all of that fake? Hell yes. Haven't you seen our harness mistakes? How many screw-ups is it gonna take? Haven't you noticed the bubbles in space? We film astronauts in pools, for God's sake. When are y'all gonna take the red pill and realize that none of this is real? Space travel is the biggest lie, and deceiving you makes us feel so satisfied. Our only mission is to brainwash you. You make it so easy for us to do because nobody questions the authenticity. Making you believe in space is so easy. Yeah, we love to convince you in infinite space. We love to put you in an insignificant place. Hiding the creator is what we do. Beating the divinity right out of you. We don't want you to realize how special you are. We want you to think you came from a cosmic spark. We're secretly converting you to our religion, Satanism, scientism, atheism. Won't you join us? There's no such thing as outer space. We made it all up. Yeah, space is fake. It's the greatest lie that's ever been told. The biggest trick you've ever been sold. We've been pushing this satanic lie. Space is a drug and everybody high. It's only your imagination that's been a space. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time. There's no such thing as outer space. We made it all up. Yeah, space is fake. It's the greatest lie that's ever been told. The biggest trick you've ever been sold. We've been pushing this satanic lie. Space is a drug and everybody high. It's only your imagination that's been a space.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the show. Thank you so much for coming. What a lovely audience. Make sure you research some of the things you've seen tonight. But I know you won't. You'll just go home, watch the news, and believe it all. Look what NASA did this week, son. Wow, that's so amazing, Dad. You idiots. Research bubbles in space. Research NASA lives. Research space in space. For God's sake. Good night, everybody. You idiots. Thank you. Good night.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks again for watching, sticking through to the end. We will catch you next time. We have a True Earth debate on Friday on the TikTok. As usual, we have the trivia on the 19th over on the Mellow Dome, so be sure to check it out. Thank you all for the support. Be sure to support the No-Del family and always does that. The No-Del family and the Tinfoil Hat family, we really appreciate you, and we will see you next time.